What's up, ladies and gents? God bless you, and always God bless your family. Well, today I'm gonna make this video especially about slavery. Someone was bringing me some post about slavery, and I just wanted to give them the biblical truth. And the thing about slavery, why a lot of you guys, I be seeing you post things on Facebook about God saying slavery was okay, and God making it this way, the way it is, and how man made in His image, and all these things have been hiding the truth. See, I'm gonna pull that mat up that you guys are not reading, and that you guys not getting your facts. Because if you read a book by only its cover and by only a few pages, you won't get the full understanding of a story. You would never know me if I told you I lived over there and I lived over here and you went to one place. You won't know the whole me. You have to know me in all different type of areas. Lord knows that all of us got different lives outside of our family. So when you're speaking of this biblical story, this is a grand story. This is the grand stage of all. This is the greatest book that was ever created. And it is the cornerstone builder that has been rejected. That is actually the master builder of everything that is out here. Everything is biblical. Even the energy. What we live in today is biblical. Your damn car is biblical. You understand me? It could be 4 people in the car, but it's one vessel. Mind, body, spirit. Jesus knows the heart. How does God knows you? God don't need to send lightning and thunder to you. He can write to you because He knows all of our hearts, and all of us are aligned with each other. The reason why our other brothers and sisters don't know this because they're lame-minded. And this, I'm not judging them. I'm judging them by the fruit of their labors of what they're doing. Because they're not doing the right thing they're supposed to do, and they're picking a position of truth that they heard of this world, but they're not seeking the spiritual truth. It's going to be 2 sets of truth. We're going to have pure, and we're going to have this vulgar, this dogma. Because what I'm getting at is, if you really want to know the truth about slavery, slavery began when when King Solomon and King David, their descendants, started to betray the Lord. They started wanting to be into these LeBron Jameses, these Alexander the Greats. They started idolatry. They was praising the Lord, and they started splitting themselves in half with the Lord, getting into idolatry, being into the refuge with women from other nations. They start making the blood impure. They start eradicating and mixing and making the bloodline of Yahweh unpure, which made Satan be able to infiltrate us through bloodline, through mixture of nations. And now slavery have begotten the Israelites because they did not listen, they did not hearken to the words of the prophets and the saints, the true saints that still stood for the Lord. That's why Daniel the prophet was Daniel the prophet, I say. Because that was the beginning of the first one of the greatest slaveries that we ever been through. Because Daniel the prophet was able to see the dreams of Nebuchadnezzar, proving that our Lord God is the real God out of all the other gods. While man is sitting here worshiping bulls, idolatries, falling into ways of worshiping pictures, glorifying their sex lives with women, things that are meaningless, that bring only temporary pleasure, and only things of man, only things of the flesh. Don't send me things that you just know of the Bible, bits and pieces. Send me what you know by yourself. Send me after you and seen the whole story, the whole journey. Send me after you ain't been to the center of the earth. Send me after you ain't been to the rabbit hole, like your others and brothers and sisters is out here praying. Because we know this Illuminati, and we see this triangle because these things took in place in Egypt. And God is just pulling us all up out of the roots. You could be bitter. You could be sour about it. But He didn't call you at the church. He called us, the ones that really got love, really put the spirit in that food, really go come after you when all hell break loose. Not these people that just being around you because they're prospering. And they're prosperity Christians, not people who out here sitting here saying that they don't gangbang no more and they still shaking it up. They have no wisdom, no knowledge, because if they did, they would know they still putting this influence into the country, into the nation. It doesn't take one person to do it all, but it takes one person to start it all and to continue it all continuously. It's the consistency of the things that you do that build the person you are. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a dream, you don't have a purpose, that's because you've been sitting in the hood, you've been sitting on the corner, you've been sitting here looking at women all day with the same man all day. We got guys out here 30 to 35 years old, still don't know what it means to be in a relationship. We got women out here still trying to be a stallion. They want to be a bot. They want to be a thought. And then they saying this, that they don't want to be these things at work, but they joke about it sincerely, calling their friends bitches, whores, all these things, and calling them thoughts. You joke and laugh about it, and when these things come upon you, and then that message that you sent yourself come upon you, and you go do those thought things, then you have to bring an excuse for it, and how you have to keep this cycle going. Now you feel like you have to keep this cycle going because it's in your head. Now the devil's gonna play with you every day and all day. So you think it's just a joke because this music is making this hilarious to you? I mean, this music is making this vulgar to you. You don't even know the music. The music has influenced you to have violence. If it didn't, why does it give you that vibe of energy that goes through your body? And it goes through everybody. Everybody. That's why these men turn up their music loud. Because they want that energy. They want that vibe. They want that rush. That adrenaline rush of violence, of rapid speed. Just like Grand Theft Auto is subconsciously doing the same thing. They have one agenda, one world order agenda. This is how slavery truly is to God. Not thinking for yourself. Working for another person for the rest of your entire life. Not being in service to your brothers and sisters. That is slavery. Following unknowingly the facts of truth. Following lies for comfort. That is slavery. Walking head first into poverty because of what your family believe. That is slavery. Believing in color. That is spiritual slavery. All of these things are spiritual slavery, and they close you out in this world through by hard, resistant vibrations. The whole entire world is getting influenced by negative vibrations because of people are spreading hate and hatred through Black Lives Matter and such things of the past. These kids think that slavery is something owed them something in the past. It does not owe you anything. Earn your strip. Earn your stripes. Earn your stripes. Do what you need to know these stories. Because King Solomon and King David didn't give a damn about color. And neither did this book start in slavery at the time in the 1900s. It started when a war back then that took place against the Christians and the Muslims. Because the Muslims started crucifying and tearing away at the Christians. Romans did the same thing. You know what these Christians were? They was black Israelites. Every nation has enslaved the Israelites. And all nations to this day still enslave us. They know that we are in America. They know that they owe us. They know that God is coming. And they know that he was coming at this time. They have the books. They have the illustration. They have the narrative. They know that they know what is about to happen. But the best to believe and the best to have faith. Know that the Bible is truly serious. So if you know what I'm saying is seriously, then you should know God has a great, big, historical plan that's going to change the world. And if you think that he was just going to throw meteors and all this stuff down at you, no, this is a spiritual book. And this book was only going to be accessed through the family, through the ones that really have love in their heart. You see, when he said he was going to tear down the temples, he didn't mean every brick. Well, he did mean every brick. But the bricks that he really meant was the temple inside you. Every one of you have the temple of God in you. The reason why you haven't accessed this is because no one ever told you. And your brother has accessed this. And now you know how to find God. Pray, fasting. You go in a feel of vibration. This is your first steps to making your first big fruits. And stay little. You don't need all this jewelry. You don't need all this mess. You are a purified being. And once you find these things out, everything is going to come in alignment to you. Everything is going to come in alignment to you. But forget the bogus crap about slavery, because they've been killing millions enough. And they took the book and they created Templars, and they created what you call the Holy Grail. You know, this is where the spear came from, where they speared Jesus. And they still have this spear, you know, when they speared him on a cross. People don't know this stuff. While you sitting here speaking of slavery, know your story. Know the heritage. Know my heritage and my people's heritage. Because if you don't know, you're about to get ready to know. This is about to happen. And this is very seriously. This is very serious. Yes, it is. You got to know your story. You do at this time. Slavery didn't begin in 1900s with black people, just blacks. No, it began with everybody. Everybody that was in Israel was enslaved. Now Israel has been mixed in blood. So now God can't rapture us. We can't go to heaven through blood. Everybody must have a spiritual reborn through water and spirit again. That's what he did. So all this stuff that they talking about in the flesh, it does not matter. What matters is that we be reborn by doing our dieting, dying ourselves daily, praying, and overcoming the demonic spirits that are coming against us. Now remember, they stole the book from us and they couldn't do it, and they didn't know how to access it spiritually. So that's why the world has fallen to all this influence and LGBT. Basically, they perverted the Bible, as God said. This is a perversion. And they converted many to be evil. Paul and James and them, after they died, these people took the book and said that they made the church for Paul after Paul and James and them. These people was false prophets. These people was false disciples. And these things are going on today. So there you have it, my opinion of slavery in the Bible. In Jesus' name, God bless you. God bless your family.